What's going on, everyone? Kidney here, one half a kidney failure. Today, I have to once again return with bad news about everyone's favorite internet vampire, Playboi Carti. He's not really done anything. He's been suspiciously absent from the internet, well, except for the occasional lying tweets or cryptic Instagram posts. I mean, that post was at least teasing a real song that actually came out, but rumor has it that Carti phoned in this verse and actually recorded it years ago. So what has the King Vamp been doing? No one really knows, but here at the Kidney Failure Show, we like to hope that his absence is due to him being so hard at work at his OPIUM music label, which he founded back in 2019. While Carti has been effectively missing in action for more than 2 years now, the artists he signed to his label have not. You've got Carson, Destroy Lonely, and Homixide Gang. But what do we know about these upcoming new age rappers? What personal convictions inspire the art that they create? Who are the OPIUM Goons? Kenyatta Lee Frazier Jr., aka Teen X, aka X-Man, aka Ken Carson. He used to have a $sign in his name instead of the S, but he doesn't anymore. So now he can be easily confused with Ken Carson, the country singer. The two unfortunately look remarkably similar as well, so take care not to mix them up. But anyways, who is Ken Carson? Sonically, he obviously has similarities to Playboi Carti, with frequent use of rage beats and rapid mumbling verses, but I want to dig deep into his rise to fame over the past few years. So, after being the first big signee to OPIUM in 2019, Ken got to work on several projects, ranging from his oft-forgotten Boy Barbie EP to his breakout EP Teen X, which would eventually receive a follow-up in the form of Teen X Relapsed. What's really important to focus on is the Teen X EP, which really marked a turning point for Ken Carson into the mainstream due to his hit single, Yale. And I mean, Yale is a pretty big deal, relatively speaking, as it took Ken from being more of an underground rapper to a musician who would be going on tours and performing live at shows. And with any song that's big enough nowadays, it's gonna blow up on TikTok. And it's gonna have some memes along with it too. For some reason, that took the form of Ken being compared to a Goomba, and not gonna lie, I don't know where that came from, but here we are. But yeah, back to his actual music, the Teen X EP is also the first time we start seeing, well, the use of this Teen X idea. You've got a song titled Teen X, the EP obviously titled Teen X, and Ken Carson calling himself Teen X. But honestly, what the hell does that mean? Like, according to the Genius annotation on a Playboi Carti song, which is also called Teen X, it's like a motto short for teenage ecstasy or something. Teen X, from what I can tell, is a phrase about, being a kid doing lots of drugs, and it's kinda Ken's own brand, but it still is pretty confusing. I don't know. I'll try not to get lost in the weeds of Ken's obscure catchphrases, because after the Teen X saga, Ken still has plenty more music that he's dropped. His debut studio album, Project X, dropped in the summer of 2021, with hits like Rock and Roll and Run Plus Ran on it, and he followed that up the next year with an even longer LP, simply titled X. I think you can kind of start to see why he calls himself the X-Man. Young X-Man, Ken Carson. But yeah, these albums have seen a pretty solid amount of success, with Ken's newer songs all getting millions of streams minimum. His fans definitely love him. Like, if you look on YouTube, you can find a ton of Ken Carson songs with extended intros, or remixes, or compilations and the like. But what do music reviewers think of Ken Carson? Okay, let's take a look at the Pitchfork review. On his latest album, the Atlanta rapper lacks curiosity, imagination, and charisma? It's like being whacked with a slab of styrofoam? Alright then, let's look at a video review. How about Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd, or whatever?
He is contributing nothing to this sound, nothing to this style. He's not even doing it particularly well. There is nothing exciting, refreshing, fun, or interesting about this project. It is just drivel. It is a void. It is emptiness. It is a lack of something. I would rather just listen to Yeet or Carti. I'm feeling a strong 0 to a light 1.
Alright, so perhaps Ken Carson is not universally acclaimed, but hey, you can't please everyone. Alright, so anyways, that's Ken Carson in a nutshell. It's now time to talk about his best pal, Destroy Lonely. Destroy Lonely Real name, Bobby Wardle Sandamani III, is a young star who actually comes from a rap family. His father, I-20, was a major rapper back in the day, and is probably best known for his massive hit single with Ludacris. So, Destroy Lonely theoretically had the roots to blow up and be big in the rap game because of his father, but ultimately, how do you actually do it? Destroy Lonely really got off the ground with his breakout single, Bane. He previewed it to an audience of only about 4 people on Instagram Live way back in 2019, but from there it would become a hit, eventually leading to Playboi Carti noticing him and signing him to OPIUM Records. After Bane, he released several singles as well as an album and its deluxe, but Lone really started blowing up with his first official release through OPIUM in 2022, the album No Stylist, with the hit single off of that being the eponymous song No Stylist. The song's basically about how he's so fashionable that he doesn't need a stylist to tell him how to dress, and I'd say this interpretation is corroborated by the song's genius lyrics, where various contributors have also been torching the poor man in the annotations. But Destroy Lonely's fashion philosophy is something very central to his brand, and more generally OPIUM. Lone really believes in creating his own trends, and having a style that is distinctly his own.
The GOAT fashion trend would be making your own shit.
Ironically, you could argue that a lot of Destroy Lonely's style is very reminiscent of the general Carti aesthetic, but nonetheless, the sentiment still stands. There's definitely something to be said for being bold in your own unique style, just, well, with OPIUM as a whole, I'd argue that style doesn't always stick the landing.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But getting back to Destroy Lonely's actual music, a few months after the release of his No Stylist album, Lone released the deluxe version, titled NS Plus Ultra. NS Plus is pretty self-explanatory for what that means, but the Ultra part of the title is actually a reference to Lone's cat, who's named Ultra. So that's actually kind of wholesome, I guess. Go Lone. Speaking of wholesome, as I mentioned earlier, Lone and Ken are actually best pals for real. Take a look at the two's responses when asked what they think the greatest album of all time is.
What? Alright. No Stylist. Wait, it's your turn, bro.
Yeah, these guys have multiple collab songs together, and they really personify the advantages of being part of a tight-knit record label where the artists are actually interacting with one another. Ken and Lone's friendship aside, there's still one more album we gotta talk about, and I'd argue it's Lone's most interesting project yet. If Looks Could Kill, which dropped in May 2023, had a phenomenal rollout for an album made by a relatively small artist. The day the album released, Destroy Lonely also put out a 13-minute short film to accompany the LP titled Look Killa. I won't spoil what happens in it, but the whole thing is definitely a high-effort way of promoting an album, regardless of if you think the actual film was profound or just corny. The actual album has an aesthetic, both in terms of the sound and the album art, that closely resembles the Look Killa film. If Looks Could Kill is also a very long album, with 26 songs and a runtime of an hour and 23 minutes, and it's certainly received criticisms for how bloated and samey it feels. Well, on that note, maybe let's see what Anthony Fantano thinks.
I can't really be impressed by the one song that is okay when you've handed me 20 other cuts that are just slop. Feeling a strong 1 to a light 2.
A 1! Magnificent. That beats out Ken Carson's 0 by a wide margin, so I think it's safe to conclude that Destroy Lonely is definitively the better artist of the pair. Objectively. Everything else aside though, Lone is a truly fascinating artist, and out of all the OPIUM Goons, he's certainly the one that is most reminiscent of Playboi Carti's vibe and mysterious energy. But we got one more OPIUM signee we gotta talk about, and it's Homixide Gang. Homixide Gang is a duo that are the most recent artists signed to OPIUM, made up of Homixide Bino and Homixide Michi. After an album and a few singles they released without OPIUM, their first official release on the label was Homixide Lifestyle, which dropped in late 2022. The album definitely has some bangers on it, as well as some collabs with the other OPIUM members, which is certainly cool to see. Less than half a year after their first album with OPIUM, Homixide Gang put out another album titled Snot or Not in early 2023. Featuring an album art that's actually a heavily edited photo of Taylor Swift. Allegedly. Make of that what you will. Now, while Homixide Gang isn't exactly an obscure underground rap duo, they certainly haven't experienced the same level of success as their OPIUM brothers have. Maybe because they signed to the label later, or maybe they have less mass appeal, or... I really don't know. And why would I? this Homixide Gang breakdown isn't about analyzing the success of these artists. So wait, what is this section of the video actually about? Oh yeah, just remembered. Homixide Bino might be a pedophile. Yeah, there have been multiple allegations made online that old Bino has been chatting up minors. Like, there's a video on Twitter with him attempting to go over to a minor's house or something. There's actually a bunch of random screenshots, all sort of tangentially making an argument that Bino's up to some sus things, and also some anecdotes like this one Reddit comment. Obviously, for Homixide Gang, these allegations are not a good look.
What's this, you fucking piece of shit? What's this? Huh? What's this, motherfucker?
But that being said, there's honestly no hard evidence anywhere that isn't just unverified screenshots and short videos, all which may be getting wildly misconstrued. The accusations are obviously very serious, but at the same time, as of right now, it's not conclusive whether or not Bino is an actual pedo, or if some of the evidence against him hasn't been taken out of context. So what should be said in a situation like this? It's hard to say. For now, we just have to carry on and remember that this is a video about the OPIUM Goons, which Homixide Gang is, for better or for worse, a part of. And who knows? Maybe Ken Carson's Teen X catchphrase is actually referencing how he had a teenage ex-girlfriend. Or maybe that one Destroy Lonely line from No Stylist actually isn't referring to his girl being in college. Anyways, Homixide Gang being not officially condemned for now, let's refocus and get back to taking a deep dive into what it means to be a member of OPIUM. Homixide Gang actually have some thoughts on that, so let's hear what they have to say about what work ethic looks like as an OPIUM goon.
Carti is someone that has one of the craziest work ethics. All that nigga do is be in the studio every day.
Nah, dead for real.
24 hours.
And I feel like that's something like from hearing from you guys, Ken, Lonely, like that's all you guys do too. Like y'all aren't outside, you don't catch you guys outside. Y'all are in the studio and doing y'all shows.
I'm in the studio, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Studio and shows, you know.
Okay, so it seems like besides the occasional hitting on underage girls, Homixide Gang does nothing but head to the studio and perform live at shows. Definitely seems to mirror some of the things that we've heard about the mysterious antics of the label's founder, but not gonna lie, I feel like Ken and Lone tell a different story. Like, look at them in this interview.
The GOAT video game, I think the GOAT video game is Grand Theft Auto because like, it's just like life. I feel like that's the realest game to just like, you can do literally anything you want, like just like in real life.
I think the GOAT video game is Call of Duty.
Say what?
Call of Duty.
I fought with Kai cause like...
These guys actually seem to have normal, relatable lives outside of work, and aren't entirely just a massive caricature of what the next big avant-garde artist would look like. I think these rappers, especially with the vibe they're trying to pull off, try to make themselves out to be these inhuman machines that don't eat or sleep, they just grind and magically make music that only they could be making. I just think it's a facade in a lot of cases. There are some exceptions though. Take Yeet for example, an internet age rapper similar in many ways to the OPIUM Goons, except that he's had an actually meteoric rise to success thanks to TikTok. This guy? I actually think he doesn't do anything but live in the studio and make music.
GOAT movie? I ain't never watched the movie before. GOAT video game? I don't know, that's a hard one. GOAT YouTube video? I don't be really watching YouTube.
Now, is he just a shell of a person, or actually a based GigaChat rapper and producer who eclipses the OPIUM Goons in popularity just because of his Sigma Gorillionaire grind set? I don't know. That's for you to decide. But yeah, that's it. That's all the members of OPIUM. Not much else to say now, I guess, except, oh god, wait. Oh please no, that's not Peter Griffin, is it? No, please, don't let me get turned into a Peter Griffin skit. I'm begging you, please, no.
Meg, I swear to God, I'm committed to killing myself now. It's been more than 2 years since a Playboi Carti album, and I just can't take it anymore. There's not a single other artist in the world like him. Wait, when did that door get here? Where are my manners, though? Whoever you are, come in! My God, it's Ken Carson!
I'm Ken Carson.
Wow, Ken Carson, your music is kind of like Playboi Carti's. Maybe I won't be killing myself after all. Wait, Ken, what's that look on your face? Why are you smiling so much?
What was the question again?
Why are you smiling so much? Jesus Christ, Ken, are you attracted to my daughter?
Don't be a judger, bro.
Ken, she's underage.
It's a big turn off.
Good. It's good to hear you're not attracted to underage girls.
It really bothered my head. That shit ain't there.
Oh God, it's Homixide Bino! Run, Meg! Run! Get out of here! Oh, and there you are, Homixide Michi. What do you have to say for yourselves? Do you even care about age of consent laws?
We ain't take it serious, like, especially Bino.
You disgusting motherfuckers! Ken, are these really the people you associate with?
Damn, this is what y'all doing? God.
Okay, so Ken Carson is a decent person at least. But what about Destroy Lonely?
Yo, what's up?
Destroy Lonely! Please tell me you're not like Homixide Gang. These guys are pedophiles.
That's horrible.
Well, how old are the girls you date?
Probably like, I think still like a good 20-something.
Okay, so at least you and Ken Carson are alright. But the Homixide Gang, dear God. You know what? I'm calling the cops. I can't have pedophiles in my good Christian household. Uh-oh. Why are you guys looking at me like that? Wait, I never asked. Why do they call you the Homixide Gang?
Phew. Escape from the Peterverse. So, as you can see, it seems Playboi Carti has created a hard-working, close-knit collective of musicians looking to push boundaries in more ways than one. While, to some extent, the OPIUM Goons are a reflection of Carti himself, they each maintain their own individuality. You've got Destroy, I'm not like the other girls, Lonely, probably thinking about how profound it is that he can dress himself. And then you've got upbeat Ken Carson with his teenage drug dealers, and finally you've got a Homixide Gang, whom the company lawyer thinks we should probably stop spreading allegations about, or else. All in all, it seems like whatever Carti's done, it's been for his family. So at the end of the day, can we really blame him for dropping so little music? At least we've got these guys to listen to for now.